It was a Wednesday morning, the kind that arrives with the same rhythm every week. Coffee, quiet, a little light through the kitchen window, and an 81-year-old woman in Ohio sat at her table watching her bank account the way she had watched it for years, waiting for the deposit that pays for the basics of her life: rent, food, electricity, prescriptions. The deposit that has arrived so many times it feels like gravity, only this time it didn't arrive. No warning call, no clear letter, no knock on the door, just an empty space where her Social Security payment should have been. If that puts a knot in your stomach, that's not fear. That's wisdom, because this is exactly how seniors get harmed in 2026. Not by dramatic disasters, but by silent disruptions. A small detail out of date, a change made too quickly. A scam that doesn't ask for money first, just asks for access. And by the time most people realize what happened, the month has already started moving without them. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand what's really shifting with direct deposit and electronic benefit delivery, why seniors are being caught off guard even when they think they're already set up, and the one straightforward habit that keeps your payments protected, punctual, and out of the hands of people who have no business touching them. And near the end, I'm going to share the #1 hidden protection that most seniors never set up, a simple system that can stop a missing deposit from turning into a bounced rent payment and a week of panic. Before we go any further, comment your age and your biggest struggle right now. Medical bills, prescriptions, rent, food, retirement timing, caregiving, scams, whatever it is. Just write 72 prescriptions, or 67 rent, or 75 scams. And if you're comfortable, answer this too. Are you receiving your benefit by direct deposit, by a government payment card, or by paper check? Those comments help me create videos that fit your real situation, not a generic audience. Quick disclaimer, I'm a senior benefits educator, not a government agency, and not a lawyer. This is general education. For official guidance, always use ssa.gov and numbers you find there yourself. Now let's talk about what's actually going on, because there's a lot of confusion, and scammers love confusion. For years, the federal government has been moving benefit payments toward electronic delivery. Social Security, SSI, veterans benefits, federal pensions, most of it now arrives electronically for most people. Paper checks still exist for a small number of beneficiaries, but they are far less common than they used to be, and many people have had to transition at some point because of address changes, mail theft, bank closures, or simply the government's push to modernize payments. This shift is not happening because they want to make your life harder. It's happening because paper checks are slower, more expensive to produce, and more vulnerable to loss, theft, and delivery problems. But here is the catch, and this is where seniors get hurt. When your benefits become fully dependent on electronic delivery, your bank information and identity verification become the center of your financial life. There's no comforting backup envelope that might arrive tomorrow. If the direct deposit routing information is wrong, if the account is closed, if your name doesn't match, if a change is processing, or if someone fraudulently redirects your deposit, the money may not show up where you expect. And if you're living month to month, a missing deposit is not an inconvenience. It's a threat to stability. Now, I want to tell you the truth that makes this solvable. Most missing deposits fall into a small number of causes, and each cause has a specific fix. The problem is, seniors often don't learn the causes until they are already in crisis. So we're going to get ahead of it. The first cause is the simplest and most common. The deposit information on file is outdated. Seniors change banks. Banks merge, account numbers change. Fraud departments close an account after a scam attempt. A spouse dies and accounts are retitled. A child helps clean up finances and closes something without realizing what's connected. And then the next deposit date arrives and nothing. The second cause is a processing mismatch. A change was made, but it didn't take effect the way the senior assumed. Sometimes people update direct deposit and assume it's instant. Sometimes it is faster than it used to be, but faster doesn't mean instant in every case, and it doesn't mean no risk. In some cases, the change happens quickly, and that's good. In other cases, there can be a hold for verification or an internal review. The third cause is the one nobody wants to believe until it happens: fraud or attempted fraud. In 2026, scammers aren't always trying to steal $200 from you in a quick hit. Some are trying to redirect the whole pipeline, the monthly deposit, because if they can reroute your benefit even once, that one deposit can be more than any gift card scam. And the scariest part is that a scammer doesn't have to hack Social Security like a movie. They can trick a person into providing information, or trick them into logging into a fake website, or convince them they are verifying direct deposit for a new policy. That's how the fraud happens. Pressure, urgency, confusion. So let's go back to the Ohio woman. I'm going to call her Marlene. Marlene didn't lose her deposit to a scam. Her bank had merged, the account number had changed, she had continued using the same debit card for purchases, so she assumed everything was fine. But the specific account details Social Security used were no longer valid. Marlene never got a clear, understandable letter explaining what needed to be updated, and she didn't have a My Social Security account to check messages or confirm where the deposit was set to land. So the deposit didn't arrive, and the first thing she felt wasn't anger, it was fear. She told her daughter, "I thought I did something wrong." That sentence is why I'm making this video. Seniors blame themselves for system problems, and scammers thrive on that self-blame because it makes you quiet. Marlene's daughter called the bank first to confirm the account status, then called Social Security using the official number from ssa.gov, not a number from a text or email, and asked where the payment was sent. They discovered it was returned. Marlene's direct deposit information had to be updated. The deposit was reissued once the update processed. The money eventually arrived, but the damage was emotional. Marlene spent days afraid that her income could vanish without warning. Now I want you to understand something important. When a payment is missing, the first 24 to 48 hours matters. Not because you need to panic, but because the faster you identify whether the deposit was rejected, returned, or redirected, the faster you can correct it. And for many seniors, correction is the difference between staying current on bills and falling into late fees that compound the crisis. So here's the practical sequence that protects you without becoming a tech expert. On the day you expect your deposit and it isn't there, you do 3 things. You contact your bank to ask whether any deposit was attempted or rejected. Then you contact Social Security using a number you found yourself on ssa.gov or on an old official letter, and you ask whether the payment was issued, and if so, where it was sent and whether it was returned. And then you ask what verification or steps are needed to reissue it if it was returned. You do not rely on a caller who contacts you first. You do not click links in a text. You do not verify your Social Security number to someone who is pressuring you. You initiate contact yourself. Now let's talk about the scam side, because this is where seniors get trapped even when they are cautious. Scammers use a pattern that consumer protection agencies warn about again and again: impersonation, urgency, and a request for sensitive information. Sometimes they pose as Social Security, sometimes as the Treasury, sometimes as your bank. They can spoof phone numbers. They can make texts look like they're part of a legitimate alert chain. They can use language that sounds professional. In 2026, with AI voice tools and better templates, the scams can sound calm and polished rather than obviously broken. Here are the truths that protect you, and I'm going to say them in a way you can remember even when you're stressed. The real Social Security Administration does not call you unexpectedly and demand your bank account information on the spot. They do not threaten arrest. They do not require payment by gift cards, crypto, wire transfers, or cash. They do not ask you to keep the conversation secret from family. And they do not require you to pay a fee to receive your cost of living adjustment. COLA is automatic. You don't apply for it. You don't pay for it. So if someone calls and says, "We need to update your direct deposit because of a new rule," and they pressure you, your safest move is simple: end the call. Then you contact Social Security yourself using official information you looked up independently. If it's real, it will still be real when you call back. Scams depend on speed. Real agencies can be slow, but they don't require you to act in panic in the next 30 seconds. Now let me walk you through what a scam sounds like, because reading warnings is one thing and hearing the script is another. Your phone rings. Caller ID shows what looks like a government number. The voice sounds calm and professional. They say there's a problem with your payment delivery or suspicious activity, or that your deposit was rejected and they can fix it right now if you verify your identity. Then they ask for your Social Security number, date of birth, and your bank routing number. They might even say, "I'll stay on the line while you check your paperwork," which makes it feel supportive. That is the trap. The support is how they keep you from calling someone else. The urgency is how they keep you from thinking. The single strongest sentence you can use is, "I'm going to call Social Security back directly." And then you hang up. If the person becomes angry, more urgent, or threatens consequences, that is not a real government employee. Real agencies do not need to bully you into sharing your banking information. Now, I want to talk about something else that changed the risk landscape for seniors: speed. Over the years, many legitimate updates and direct deposit changes have become faster. That's good when you need to correct a mistake quickly, but speed cuts both ways. A faster system means less time to catch an error after a change. That's why your safety has to be proactive, not reactive. You don't want to discover a change only on deposit day. This is exactly why Social Security encourages people to create a My Social Security account at ssa.gov. And I know what some of you are thinking. I don't want another account. I don't like the internet. I'm afraid I'll mess it up. That is a valid feeling, but here's the reality. If you don't create your account, someone else might try to create it in your name. And having an account allows you to see messages, verify your payment information, and monitor your status without relying on inbound calls. If you are not comfortable setting it up alone, this is one of the best reasons to ask a trusted person to help you for 20 minutes. A child, a grandchild, a niece or nephew, a trusted friend, not a stranger, not someone online, someone you know. It's like installing a lock. You do it once and it protects you for years. Now I want to pause and ask you for a mid-video favor. If this is helping you feel more protected and less anxious, please tap like, subscribe, and stay with me for the #1 secret protection. It's a simple system that can prevent a missing deposit from turning into bounced payments and panic, and most seniors never hear it explained in plain language. Before the #1 secret, I want to give you 2 more true-to-life transformation stories because I want you to feel the emotional outcome of getting this right. The first is Robert, 69. Robert got a text claiming his direct deposit failed and he needed to update immediately. The link looked official. He almost clicked. He didn't. Instead, he opened his bank app and saw his account looked normal. Then he went to ssa.gov through his browser, not through the link, and checked his My Social Security messages. No alert, no issue. The text was fake. Robert told me, "I felt my heart drop, and then I felt proud that I didn't rush." That pride matters because confidence is the best anti-scam tool a senior can have. The second is Denise, 76. Denise actually had her deposit information changed after a scam attempt, not because she handed over everything, but because she was pressured into confirming details on a call she thought was official. The deposit didn't arrive. Denise was terrified, but here's what saved her. She reported it immediately. She had a trusted adult daughter who helped her document everything, and she did not wait. They contacted SSA and the bank through official channels, and they also stabilized the rest of Denise's month so automatic bills didn't spiral. Denise had a small buffer in a separate account for bill pay, and that prevented a cascade of overdraft fees while the situation was resolved. Denise eventually had the payment reissued correctly. And when it was over, she said something that I wish every senior heard. It wasn't the missing money that broke me. It was the feeling that I could be knocked over any day. That's what we're fixing with the #1 secret. Here is the #1 secret. Separate your deposit account from your spending account. Most seniors have one checking account, one debit card, and everything flows through that one place. Social Security deposit comes in, bills go out, debit card gets swiped at stores and gas pumps, and the account is constantly exposed to the outside world. That is convenient. It is also fragile. A deposit-only account is a simple idea. You receive your Social Security into one account that you do not use for daily spending. No debit card swipes, no online merchants, no gas pump terminals. Your bills can still be paid from it if you want, but you keep it quiet and protected. Then you transfer a planned amount, weekly or biweekly, to a separate spending account that has the debit card and faces the world. If a spending card is compromised, the damage is limited. If a deposit is delayed, your bill system isn't immediately exposed to chaos. This one structure can prevent a missing deposit from becoming a late rent fee and a medicine crisis at the same time. This is revolutionary because it shifts your life from everything depends on one deposit landing in one exposed account to my income lands in a protected place and my spending is controlled. It's not about being paranoid, it's about being resilient. Now, let's tie this back to seniors' benefits because cash flow problems hit seniors harder than any other group. If your deposit is delayed and you're on a fixed income, you might need emergency support. That's where synergy matters. If food gets tight, SNAP may help for eligible seniors. If utilities are at risk, LIHEAP and local programs may help. If your Medicare premiums or prescription costs are high, Medicare savings programs and extra help can reduce monthly costs for eligible seniors, creating more breathing room so one disruption doesn't knock you over. If property taxes are crushing you, senior property tax relief programs can reduce annual pressure. These supports are not charity. They are part of the system seniors paid into and are meant to use. And there's another synergy point most people miss. Scammers often target seniors with direct deposit updates because they know the deposit is the lifeline. The more you stabilize your budget, lower premiums, lower prescription costs, lower property taxes, the less power urgency has over you. Scammers win when you feel desperate. Stability removes desperation. Now, I want you to do something practical before we end. If you receive Social Security, write down your deposit schedule. Social Security payments are typically scheduled based on your birth date, and SSI has its own schedule. Knowing your expected date helps you catch problems early. Put it on a calendar. Then do a 60-second monthly habit. On deposit day, verify the deposit. If it's not there by the time it normally arrives, you take action that day, not next week. Call your bank. Call Social Security through official numbers. Don't wait. Also, set up account alerts with your bank, not once a day, real-time alerts, every transaction, every transfer. The moment something changes, you know. Seniors often don't want too many texts, but when it comes to your income, a real-time alert is peace of mind. If you don't have a bank account or don't want one, there are government payment card options such as the Direct Express program used by some beneficiaries. It can be a legitimate electronic route, but it still requires careful monitoring and secure handling. And for seniors who truly cannot transition away from paper checks due to approved barriers, there can be limited exceptions and processes, but those are handled through Social Security directly, never through a random caller. Now, let me say what I want you to remember most because it will protect you for the rest of your life. A missing deposit is usually not the government taking your money. It is usually a fixable issue, wrong account information, a closed account, a processing problem, or fraud. The faster you identify which one, the faster you recover. And the best prevention is simple. Keep your SSA contact information current, create and secure your My Social Security account, verify changes only through channels you initiate, and build a two-account system so your monthly income is not exposed to daily life. If you've ever received a suspicious call or text claiming to be Social Security, tell me in the comments what it said and how you responded. Your story can protect someone else because scammers reuse scripts. And if you know someone who depends on these payments, an older neighbor, a parent, someone at church, share this video with them. One 2-minute conversation can prevent a terrifying month. You're not behind, you're not alone, and you don't need to live anxious to be safe. With 1 or 2 calm habits and 1 strong structure, you can protect the money you worked decades to earn, and you can keep your retirement life stable, confident, and yours.